Hi, I'm Jeff with JJ Mobile Media. We are a digital marketing agency based right here in Central California. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over how to create a content marketing strategy for your business in 10 minutes. So, in a lot of my videos recently, I've been talking a lot about creating a content marketing strategy for your business now, so that when 2021 hits, you hit the ground running. You set yourself up for success and you have everything already pre-planned out and you don't have to spend any time or energy in 2021 thinking about that. But I realized something, and I realized that although we go over all these things, and I can give you my recommendations for what you can do, sometimes it can be hard without having something in front of you to look at that you can actually plan it out. So what I've done was I took all the guesswork out of that for you, and I created a 2-page document that you can use. You download it; it's a free download on our website, and it walks you step by step in how to create the content marketing strategy for yourself. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into my computer, and I'm going to go over that with you right now. Okay, so we are officially inside my computer and we are looking at the document that I was talking about. This is the content marketing strategy template that I created for you guys to use to help yourselves develop a content marketing strategy for your business for 2021. This is really awesome because you can use this, fill this out, and you can keep it as a hard copy on your desk and having something to look at. You could pin this on your vision board, whatever helps, but sometimes having something to physically to look at in front of you helps so much. So here at the top, we have a quote that says, "The essence of strategy is choosing what not to do." I really like that. It was a Michael Porter quote. I just really like the message behind that because, we can really get caught up in trying to jump on the latest trending platform without having a clear strategy outlined. And that's just not what you want to do. So just remember, the essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. Okay. So over here it says, there once was a time when one needed to map out several pages of ideas to develop a content strategy. And then, so now what I'm saying is if you just focus on a 2-page core strategy, which I've outlined here on this template, you can use this daily to dominate your competition and just outdo them on all fronts when it comes to content marketing. And content marketing is it's so strategic and so important nowadays because people are just content consuming creatures. Okay, that's what they love to do. It's what I love to do. I love to create content, but I also consume more than my share, believe me. So if I'm in your target market, if I'm in your audience, if you're trying to reach me to sell any kind of product or service, you're going to be able to reach me with good creative content. Okay, so these are the critical questions that you're going to want to ask yourself when you're working out this strategy, working out a strategy for yourself is what macro content. So I have this separated into macro and micro content, okay? And macro content, what kind of macro content will I create? And I have several examples over here of macro content that you could look at. So for instance, a blog post on your website or an article that you've written, a podcast. I've talked about podcasts before. Podcasts are probably, I would recommend anybody that can do one in a intentional way to do it because it's such a great piece of content because you can rip so many other additional pieces of micro content from it. A video. So let's say you did a long form interview on a video, or, let's say you had somebody on and did video with them, that would be a great thing that you can use as a piece of macro content. And then slice that up into pieces of micro content. A great newsletter that you wrote, keynotes from a speaking engagement that you participated in, or slides from a slideshow. So those are all examples of macro content. There are more, but these are the ones that I came up with to help you out. Seemed like these would be the best ones to use. These are probably the most frequently used forms of macro content. And again, I've talked about podcasts before and how you can leverage those. So consider that. Okay. So on what channels will I create it? Okay. So that's going to be, again, are you going to use YouTube? Are you going to use Vimeo? Like, what kind of tools are you going to be using to create this content? Okay. Third is, how will I repurpose macro content into micro content? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to look at these different pieces of macro content that you've created, so I'll use a podcast as an example. I really like to talk about that. So if you created a podcast and you videotape the podcast as well as recording the audio, what you're going to want to do is sit back and say, okay, now what can I do? How can we repurpose this content into sharing on these other sites that I have listed below? How will I distribute that micro content? So that's okay. So you have LinkedIn, you got Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram. Okay. So what you have to do is you're going to have to decide which platforms you're going to want to be using. And again, I have these on here, but that doesn't mean that you have to be on every single one of these, because remember, the essence of your strategy is choosing what not to do. So if you don't feel like Twitter is the place for your business, then don't worry about it. If Pinterest doesn't work for you, then don't worry about it. Just get serious about which one you do use. That way you can start repurposing this content. How will I listen to my audience? So this is a very important step right here, is how will you listen to your audience? So the best way I would recommend to listen to your audience is, once you've published one of these pieces of macro content, go and see what kind of feedback and what kind of engagement you're getting. Okay, that's going to be the best indicator of which piece of content works the best. And then once you've identified that, then that's the kind of content you want to splice up and use in your micro content section here. And last but not least, how will I measure my progress with, or KPIs, so key performance indicators? Okay, so how are you tracking the success of your content? What tools are you using to measure that? And there's several out there, and a lot of these, every single one of these actually provide their own analytics, so you can gauge which pieces of content work the best. Okay, so that's the first page of this document. So it just really kind of goes over everything, tells you what to do in a very concise, clear way. The second is the one that you will print out that you can actually fill in for yourself. So again, we're restating all of the critical questions that we went over. What macro content will I create? What channel, etc. Okay. Consider which macro content channels and which micro content channels you're going to be using. And read what's this say right here. It says, now is the time to take action and implement. Outline your own content strategy. Okay. So that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to fill out the section for the macro content. You're going to, what forms of macro content you're going to use, which micro content channels you're going to be using it on. You're going to want to outline how will you be listening to your audience, which KPIs you're going to be tracking to measure success. And then this down here says 1 to 3 ways to leverage my core channels. So are you using a podcast as your core macro content? Okay. And if you are, list 3 different ways that you can up the game. Okay. And I'll give you an example. If you're running a podcast or if you're doing video, maybe you could collaborate with other recognized experts in your field. So in my case, I am a digital marketer. Maybe I could reach out to somebody else that has done digital marketing successfully and get them on to talk about certain things that I talk about regularly to try kind of drive home my message. But you can think about how you can leverage that in your business. Okay, awesome. So how easy was that? Was that awesome or what? Hope you guys got tons of value from that. Remember, you guys can download that document free at jjmobilemedia.com/free gifts. You just enter in your name and then you tell me where to send it and it'll go straight to your inbox. I'm going to drop a link to that download in the video below, and feel free to access it whenever you want. So I thank you for staying with me till the end of the video. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get more subs over there, so any love you can give us is much appreciated. If you guys are watching it on Facebook, please like, share, and tag a fellow content creator. And if you guys are on LinkedIn, please reach out and connect with me. I'm trying to grow my connections there as well. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all on the next video.